Welcome to Albums of the Week, Episode 6. As you can see, I'm going to be moving forward with my Genesis reviews with Nursery Crime. I'm going to start actually this morning, album number 1 with that LP. I also plan to get to Rush this week as my classic LP with a cool surround sound alternative. There is a 5.1 mix of Fly By Night, and I'll probably discuss that some. And then I have a quad album picked out, and maybe you'll just have to wait and see what that is, but I think it is a very exceptionally cool one. I've selected an album from around the world. The quest for the best continues, and this may not be the best album, but it's one that I found. And I've got some metal. I think there should always be some metal in the mix. And some other random stuff. And just given the pace of life, we'll see how many I can actually get to. Along with Albums of the Week, I'll be trying to hit spot videos through the week for exciting news. So stay tuned, subscribe, ring the notification bell, like videos, share them, leave comments. It all helps get more videos out to you and to help us all live life in stereo and surround. Alright, so Nursery Crime. It's interesting. A few of these tracks really haven't aged well with me. I've heard this album quite a few times now. I gotta say, it kind of like starts out a little too low and slow for me with Musical Box. And then Harold the Barrel is a bit of a letdown on side B. Other than that, I find this album to be really solid and musically and sonically very palatable for the most part. I am not sure where I'm at with the Trespass versus Nursery Crime debate that I set for myself last week. I guess I would have to give the edge to Trespass, actually. Maybe they had more time to incubate and really refine that one. And yeah, this one is very interesting. I can understand why the super fan favorite live cuts, came to be. I get it. There's lots of magic on this record. I'm looking forward to pushing on and listening to the SACD and the DVD video via that little jewel box over there. Has an SACD and DVD in it from the green box, the European version of the green box. So I'll be doing my second Genesis comparison this week, LP versus optical format. But for the purposes of this video, it's on to Rush. Alright, so Fly By Night by Rush. This is what I consider to be the beginning of just absolute quintessential golden era Rush, where we have Peart in the group and providing his already very distinctive percussive qualities and beginning to contribute to lyrics. I have done a review of the 5.1 version of this album available either in the Rush Sector 1 set or as a standalone high-fidelity pure audio Blu-ray. This, in my estimation, is an early Richard Chycki 5.1 mix and a very good one at that. So from this time period for his work, this would be my go-to. It rocks. It sounds quite a bit like the LP. I've already done a full-blown review of it, so I will make sure that that link resides in the description, and I might even select it to pop up for you at the end of this video. It's time for our foreign album of the week, The Quest for the Best, albums from around the world. Because of St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to focus on Ireland. And because I love his music, I'm going to focus on Van Morrison today. I'd love to hear from anyone who is Irish or has lived in or does live in Ireland. What would be your favorite Irish music? What would you want the rest of the world to listen to and understand represents you? But for me, I love Van Morrison, so let's go for it. Will I choose the somewhat obvious St. Dominic's preview? He is here with his Caledonia Orchestra, and the title track, which is rather epic, features references to Belfast and so it could be appropriate, and I love this record. But I'm just not feeling the St. Patrick magic with it. We could go a little bit less obvious with the mythical Wiedenflies, with absolutely killer songs like Streets of Arklow, County Fair, Cul-de-sac, Bulbs, Fair Play, You Don't Pull No Punches But You Don't Push the River. I mean, this is just an underrated and absolutely just killer record. In my opinion, it is a bit of a masterpiece. Kind of harkens back to Astral Weeks in a very good way. But I'm not really feeling that one either. Should we go Beautiful Vision with Celtic Ray, Northern Muse, Dweller on the Threshold, Van Lowe's Stairway, The Mighty Cleaning Windows, and Aryan Mist? It could work, but again, it's not really the vibe I'm looking for. I'm going to go with one of my all-time favorite Van Morrison records. It's mid-career. It is The Healing Game. This is a sing-along from start to finish. Oh my gosh, with very Celtic songs like Piper at the Gates of Dawn might be his most beautiful song. And The Burning Ground. Healing Game is an awesome emotional transport. Rough God Goes Riding starts things off with Van's characteristic acerbic attitude. There's so much here on this record, I just can't wait to throw it on, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Oh, the mud. Heavens, where to start with Van Morrison's The Healing Game? This is mid-career. This is part of the trio of records that he made with Brian Kennedy on very prominent backing vocals, although I would really say it's more accurate that these records are basically like 3 long duets with Brian Kennedy. His vocals are present a lot. And he has the voice of an angel, so I don't disagree with this decision. Van just decided to have a younger, piping-voiced male double a lot of his vocals. It's kind of a very distinct sound, and it is a trademark of this time period. This album, I believe, was well chosen for listening on St. Patrick's Day, especially just the ethereal and spiritual track, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Oh, a deep listen to this song can take you to a place of mystery, majesty, and wonder. And it features Van Morrison, Peter O'Hanlon, Phil Coulter, Paddy Maloney, and Brian Kennedy. I mean, this song, recorded in Dublin, Ireland, is about as Celtic and Irish as it gets. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to connect to 25% of my heritage, quarter Irish, but 100% crazy. So anyway, The Healing Game. If you love or like Van Morrison and you haven't checked out this record, or it's been a while, do yourself a favor. It's very cool. I've owned it on CD for a long time. There's an expanded version with some tracks that are well worth tracking down, and then this is obviously the LP version. In any case, you simply can't fail. This is a brilliant, lovely record. It has extremely memorable and singable, and in some cases very moving and powerful tunes. So I was about to put on the quadraphonic LP I had selected for this week when I realized that Barclay James Harvest, once again, this really cool box set, had just shown up. Now, this has just about everything you could possibly hope for. This, to me, represents a pretty high value. It's packed with the original stereo mix plus bonus tracks, the new Stephen W. Taylor stereo mix with bonus tracks, both on CD, the 1972 quadraphonic SQ stereo mix, so you can decode it through like a surround master or through Sansui vintage SQ decoder. also on CD. And then on Blu-ray, you get Stephen W. Taylor's new stereo mix in lossless high-res. You get his new 5.1 mix in lossless high-res. And you get the original stereo mix in lossless high-res and the 1973 quadraphonic mix. Looks like lossless high-res, and I assume that means it's discrete. So this little set's packed, so I'm going to put on the quadraphonic mix for this album, and then I'm going to compare that to the Stephen W. Taylor 5.1 mix, and once again will be like my breakout surround review of the week, but it will also get a quadraphonic review, since it is the quadraphonic album of the week. And I'm really looking forward to this. I have heard this album before. In fact, I just bought a quadraphonic CD from Barclay James Harvest's store not too long ago. So because I went and bought that so I could decode it, they went ahead and greenlit this box set for everybody. So this is a cool album. I like to describe them as like the sound of the band America, but with much more complexity, some proggy leanings, and maybe America on prog meets the Moody Blues or something. Like, pretty cool stuff. Hey all, so back again with the quad album of the week. It's once again by Barclay James Harvest. I don't have the 1972 original SQ quad LP. I do have the 1998 quad CD. So it has the SQ encoded into a stereo CD. And also you can get the original quad mix in this new expanded edition of once again, which I will be reviewing separately. You not only get the quad mix discrete on the Blu-ray in DTS HD Master and in LPCM, both lossless, but you also get it on CD3. Again, I think it's probably the same as this. So SQ encoding into a stereo CD. So lots of ways to get once again in quad. This is a cool album. I haven't read the booklet enclosed in here yet. Maybe I should. But I dare imagine this to be Barclay James Harvest's most popular album. Don't quote me on that unless I'm right. And it is one of several that was mixed into 5.1 kind of back in the 2011 era. I did not love those mixes because of very, very overly hot lead vocals. But you can get a new Stephen W. Taylor 5.1 mix in this here expanded set, or you can go for the original quad. I think both are great ways to enjoy this very cool album. I'm not crazy about the track Ball and Chain, but other than that, I'm pretty much in love with this album. I would criticize maybe the over-orchestration of Galadriel as well. So anyway, that's the quad album of the week. It's once again by Barclay James Harvest. In case you are utterly unfamiliar with these guys, I would say that they're sort of like the Moody Blues, but a little bit heavier and maybe a little bit more avant-garde. Yeah, I think that's fair. So, sort of a, a mellow, proggy kind of thing going on, and a lot of feels during the song, track 3, Song for Dying. Man, that is quite an emotional song. And luscious acoustic guitars in Vanessa Simmons. There are lots of cool standout quad moments, and also 5.1. I'll get to that in the review. Anyway, that's been the albums of the week. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, share videos, comment. Go buy a t-shirt from my eBay store. It all helps support this channel, and all of your support is greatly appreciated, especially watching and especially going and enjoying music yourself. So in stereo, quad, or surround, I hope that each and every one of your lives are being greatly enhanced by wonderful music, and I'll see ya next week.